With 13 different classes to pick from in World of Warcraft, there is one class that is actually the least played, the Evoker class. That's right, the newest class that was added when Dragonflight released in November 2022. This is the least played class within the game. And that's actually kind of sad. See, Blizzard Entertainment doesn't release new classes in the game all that much. The only times being the Death Knight for when Wrath of the Lich King came out in 2008, the Monk that became available with Mists of Pandaria in 2012, and the Demon Hunter once Legion launched in 2016. And the Evoker class itself is actually pretty cool on paper, because in order to become an Evoker, you have to be a Dragthier. See, this class allows you to fly the skies with your character. You can breathe strips of fire onto land. You can heal your allies from a distance. As a healer and a ranged damage or DPS doer, this class is open to a lot of different playstyles. And you would think that me, somebody who has a dragon from Guild Wars 2 named Suwan tattooed on their arm, I'd be the perfect individual to play this class. I'm not gonna lie, I gave it a solid shot, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The Evoker class with Dragthier doesn't actually tickle my fancy or catch my attention in any way. Blizzard Entertainment, they failed critically to implement this class to be accessible and likable by a wide variety of gamers. The stats don't lie. The Evoker class is the least played class in the game. I know some of you are going to go in the comment section and go, well, Dragonflight has only been out for like a year right now, so give it some time and the Evoker class might pick up some steam. Yeah, you're right. I get it. The Evoker class is only just over a year old. But let's be real here. There should be so much excitement when WoW adds a brand new class. Why is there not so many players playing the Evoker class in general? And what can Blizzard Entertainment do to get more players to main this class? As an avid gamer who enjoys playing MMORPGs and also has been gaming since the age of 3, I'll be able to provide some insights that hopefully Blizzard Entertainment can implement in order to get new players to actually play the Evoker class. So let's start with a very big question that we have to solve first. Why is there not new classes being added to World of Warcraft all the time? And the answer is quite simple. It's actually a lot of work to add a brand new class within an MMORPG. Let's think about it real quick. As a programmer or designer or developer, you have to implement new abilities, new skills, new passive traits for a whole new class. A whole brand new class like the Evoker, you have to make sure you maintain, you have to make sure you add in new specs as time goes on. And trying to balance the game in general is actually pretty difficult when new weapons, items, your power level is increasing, especially within WoW. So it can be a nightmare actually for a developer to go to his team and say, hey guys, let's add a brand new class to the game that's gonna be sick. That actually means a whole lot more work in the future as time goes on. It's a whole new thing to juggle for the team at Blizzard. So this is why in general you don't see a lot of classes being added into the game. So when a brand new class does enter the game, such as the Evoker, there should be tons of hype behind it, and there should be people lined up at character creation to make a brand new class and actually consider, should I stop playing as a rogue or a priest and actually switch into the Evoker class? This should be going through the player's mindset when a brand new class gets added into the game. The work that the team puts into creating this class and making sure it's interesting and fun to play, this should be rewarded with players actually playing that class. And the stats right here are just sad. I mean, come on, we gotta have more people playing this class. So it's time to think outside the box or just in general as to why players don't play the Evoker. And I actually think I have a good idea. It's because you have to be a giant walking dragon in order to play the Evoker class. Just the other day, I was hosting a transmog competition on my stream. The theme was Christmas/holiday themed, so we had a lot of people showing up in their festive outfits. And side note, if you want to partake in any of the transmog competitions that I have, link in the description for my stream. But for this specific transmog competition, an actual Dragthier showed up. And it was pretty cool. I mean, he looked like he was a walking candy cane, which was great. He fit the theme. But a lot of people in chat were actually upset about this because as a Dragthier, you create your character at character select, and that's what you see for the rest of the time when you're playing on your Evoker. Yeah, There's no different armor that gets added on your character. You can't actually see that. What you make a character select, this is what you have until you go to like a barber shop and change it up maybe later on. And that's actually a bummer, because if I play any other class that isn't a type of humanoid character, like for example, a Tauren or a Pandarian. Is it actually called Pandarian or is it called Panda? I don't know. But if you play any of these other types of races in the game, the armor that you put on your character, you can actually see it get changed as time goes on. And when you play an MMORPG, you're constantly leveling up, getting stronger. It's very important that you actually visually see the progress on your character. And if you get tired of looking at the same kind of armor on your character, you want to change up your transmog, which is actually very big in World of Warcraft. The transmog competitions that I host on my stream should show that a lot of people get excited about transmog and how your character looks in the game. So for a Drakthir, where you only get to see this simple dragon model all the time, that's actually a big bummer that there isn't new armor being added on your character that you can see. And I don't expect Blizzard to go through all the armor that is in the game and make it visible or, be able to preview on a Drakthir model. I think that's a ton of work. It's gonna take too much time. Don't go down this route, Blizzard Entertainment. I have a better idea for you. See, when you play a Drakthir, you have the option to go into your visage or visage form. I actually don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll say visage for the time being. When you go into your visage form, it's actually pretty cool because you take on the appearance of a humanoid character. I think it's actually blood elves. Maybe they're actually humans, but it kind of looks like a blood elf to me. And when you're in this visage form, you can actually see the armor that your character is wearing, which is very important, especially for an MMORPG. Not to mention, the amount of character customization you can put into your visage form is really cool. They put a lot of work into this, and I can finally get a character that has dreadlocks in the game that looks somewhat similar to mine. Even the beard is very similar to what I have. Like, this is very cool. I like this aspect of Visage, but there's a big letdown when you start playing your Drakthir, because you think, oh, I'm just gonna be in the Visage form all the time. No, that's actually not possible. There's a couple of skills that work with the visage form, but once you use a skill where you have to soar in the sky, or maybe you want to breathe fire down on your enemies, that automatically switches you back into a Drakthir. And that's such a bummer. Like, it's so bad for this to happen, because if I just want to be some humanoid character that looks very identical to me in real life, this is very important for some players. And other players, they don't want to be a walking dragon. They just want to be something they can kind of relate to that is somewhat humanoid. This is a big letdown when you turn automatically back into a dragon when you're in combat. You're always constantly having to switch out of your dragon form back into your visage form. So there should be an easy fix for this. Allow players to stick in visage form all the time. And you might think, oh, moopliss, there's these skills where you have to soar in the sky and breathe fire down on your enemies. That's not actually gonna happen lore-wise if you're in the visage form. Okay, let's be real here. Lore went out the window when they added punching pandas in Mist of Pandaria in 2012. So I think you can get over the fact that a humanoid character is breathing down fire or flying across the battlefield. And if you're someone who actually needs there to be some visual representation of wings on your character, okay, fine. Just add these holographic wings that appear for your character when you use an ability where you have to fly or breathe fire down while you're flying across the battlefield. Other than that, there should be no wings on your character. In fact, I think in general, don't have any holographic wings or anything on your character if you allow players to stick in visage form. And what if I said the groundwork for staying in visage form and using your abilities is actually already available in the game? Sort of. See, in World of Warcraft, there's this whole section called toys, and players can use toys to just simply have fun. One of these toys is called the Atomic Recalibrator toy. This toy allows you to change your appearance for your character if you walk into it. It actually gives you a random appearance of a different race in the game. You still wear the same armor that you actually have equipped, but you end up appearing as an orc or a Draenei, or a gnome, or any of these other races within the game. And when you're in any of these other forms or appearances, and if you're a Drakthir and you use specific abilities that should transform you back into a giant walking dragon, it doesn't actually happen. In fact, you can roam around the battlefield and use all the abilities that you want to in all these other races, and you don't turn back into a giant smog. This is already very easy for Blizzard Entertainment to make a couple of adjustments in order for this to stick around in the game all the time. I don't know what you call it. Sometimes you can buy like these augments or these specific things. Like when I was a shadow priest, I think the shadow form was too purpley and too much, and I could buy something that could be equipped to my character so that way the shadow form wasn't so intense for my character. I could actually see what kind of transmog I was wearing while I was in shadow form. If you add this in the game, Blizzard, for players to stick in visage form in their like blood elf appearance, I think way more players are gonna give Evoker a solid chance. In fact, I'll go ahead and vouch right here on this video. If you add something like this in the game, I will give Evoker a solid chance. Hey, I already have one that looks like me in game. It's only a matter of time though before you guys add this, and I'll be jumping back into my Evoker. And it's very critical that you do the following as well. If I have this augmentation or this option enabled for my character to always stick in visage form, I don't want to go to character select and see a giant dragon on the screen. This is a deal breaker for me and probably a lot of people. If I log into the game, I don't want to see my dragon. I don't want to. It's time for me to see my character in visage form. We have so many people in the story like Alex Straza and Chromie where they're like always in their visage form, like 24/7. It shouldn't be that big of a deal for me as a player to be in my visage form. I need it right now. How dare you, Blizzard Entertainment? All right, all jokes aside, just add this in the game. I think it would be very cool. It's not like we're opening up the possibility for other races to be a Evoker. You still have to be a Drakthir, so you're only appearing like as this blood elf in your visage form. I think that's fine to start off. And if there's a wish for players to be a giant Tauren and also be able to be an Evoker, I mean, these animations are already in the game. I tested it out very early on before I actually filmed this video, so it should be simple for Blizzard Entertainment to add this. That is essentially what I think should be added into the game in order for new players to play the Evoker. It's such a small but kind of obvious kind of thing. It's very critical for players to see the change in their character, allow them to dress up and transmog their character so that way they can have fun and look at different things as they play the game. And let's be honest, as cool as the Drakthir is, I'm sure there are people out there that enjoy playing as a dragon, but me, yeah, it's not gonna cut it for me, Chief. I want to actually look like a humanoid character. Would you give the Evoker a solid chance if you could stay in visage form? Or is there actually something else that you'd like Blizzard Entertainment to tweak or change about the Evoker class or the Drakthir race before you give it a solid shot? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thanks so much for watching. As always, stay hydrated, gamers.